All right, welcome to part two of the Mega Tool Haul. Part two, this was in part one, about 32 minutes, including a couple of rambling sessions, about 32 minutes. Now we're gonna show part two. Well, we're gonna break it up in parts just to make sure it's smaller bits and pieces. Here is a tool that it's quite a surprise I won at a price that I did. So this is a Snap-on jump pack. It's called an engine starter. Let's see if I can. I told you I was barefoot in my first video. You can read right there, it says engine starter. It works. I charged it, but I think some of the digits are burnt out. I don't know what it's saying right there. I don't know how to decipher that. Like when I charged it, it actually says full and it showed all the pixels. So I paid, let's turn it off before I forget. I paid $83 out the door with, I think there might have been shipping, taxes, and obviously the purchase costs. The leads are pretty solid. I want to say it's replaceable. Internally in here is a 12-volt battery, rechargeable battery. And so you just plug it in, into it with an extension cord and charge it. And it's the part number is EEJP700. I want to say they have a 700A now. There we go. And you can tell that whosoever had this, I mean, didn't really take, I'm not gonna say didn't take the best care of the cords, but the cords are somewhat twisted. Still functional, not torn or anything. And I want to say they actually store on the side. So after this video, I'm gonna get these things situated. But I want to say it does have there's some instructions on the back. I want to say they have a 700A now, but when I looked this up, I want to say this unit from Snap-on was over 400 bucks, or maybe it was the A version, but definitely higher than the $84 I paid for it. So we'll see if it works. It takes a charge. It's just that display is kind of throwing me off. It's pretty heavy also, and like I said, the battery is replaceable. The internal battery is replaceable. Not sure how you quite do that, but yeah, I'll have to find a dead car to jump to see if it does anything. All right, all this stuff on the cardboard. I'm just gonna stand up, maybe go through it real quick. So, you know me, I've actually bought several of the same tools, and this is part of several of the same tools, if that makes sense. This is a J39 580 engine support table. Well, it's not quite, and this is just some hardware and instructions. So if you're familiar with the Kenmore engine tables, this is basically the arms and one of the support pieces. Is missing the main frame, the main rectangular frame, and obviously the casters. But I do have the Atme threaded rods and most of the pieces. I have a full setup already, and I have a partial unit. So I think I have one full setup and two partial units, and I plan to just build the rest of it. Maybe that will be my first time welding. I still need to learn to weld, so that's a good reason to buy a partial kit. Plus, all this was $199, and then I had to pay shipping. It's pretty heavy, so it came out to like almost 400 bucks. And you might say 400 bucks just for some unusable piece of iron. Well, not completely unusable. If someone ran into the garage right now, I could use that as a hammer, So, but to buy this unit used, I want to say the one I bought initially was like 1,400 bucks, and I've seen another one come on board. I should have pulled a trigger, didn't pull the trigger. It went for like close to 1,400 bucks. So they're very far and few in between, and it's been discontinued. So for 400 bucks, which obviously is shipping, the weight of it, all that stuff, it sucks, but I can buy the rest of the pieces, like the iron, and learn to weld and build my own at that point, because I already have one to kind of mimic the dimensions off. But happy to have this. Really like this thing. I've seen people, like if this quad or UTV was a car, or even this thing, but just imagine this being a car. You have it on your lift, and then you go to drop the engine, and you lower the car all the way to the ground, and you unbolt the subframe, and you can put the subframe on this thing and just roll it around. I've seen people set their car on jack stands, and do what you will, but when it's on the jack stand, it's not going anywhere unless you have like an engine hoist or engine lift or something to then take it off the jack stands. But this, once it's built out like the one I have and I plan to do with this, it's just nice to be able to move that stuff around. Never done it, but again, I buy tools because I know the purpose, not because I have a current need for it. That was a lot to say. And I mean, it looks in pretty good shape. I'm not sure what happened to the other portion of it. I'm not sure like why it was separated. Maybe someone didn't know the value of it and they separated the pieces, and this got sold off. And I saw it and I was like, this is the most complete set of pieces. I've found this by itself before, which is actually, this is somewhat different from what I've seen. But I basically found this by itself before. Sell it for like $100. So to find all these pieces, in fact, I think the one I have is all these pieces minus this. So I guess, and that's why I say I'd have 1.5. I guess if you combine 2 halves into a whole, then yeah, I got 2. All right, anyway, I'm just blabbering. Let's go. So in the first video, I made mention, why am I buying all these tools? And I made mention that, you know, God has a purpose, and I'm gonna stick with that. And so this right here is a 1-inch air operated impact gun by Mac Tools right there. It says Japan right there. I'm trying not to drop this thing by any means because it will definitely crack my towel. It says Japan right there. It says oil. The guy showed it to me working. It blew out a lot of oil out of there. Clearly he probably just oiled it. These Allen nuts don't look to be, you know, tampered with much. Let's see. He had these. He had a 3/8 hose. Come on. Well, clearly, I can't remove this adapter. I don't want to drop it just for the sake, but this is a, typically you'd want to run this with a 1/2-inch air hose, but he made this adapter, and so it uses 3/8. And so I asked him if I could have it just so I could, if I need to use it for functionality, I can at least use it. Like I said, I don't have a 1/2-inch air hose yet. I do plan to get one. And obviously your directional works like a charm. You can only use it from the side, or that's how it's designed to be used. The handle is not, the handle is not meant to be positioned elsewhere, so you got to use it in this kind of configuration. But yeah, I mean, you can see it has the hog ring on it, or lock ring. It's not walled out, so maybe it's just too heavy to be used. I know you had several impacts, but yeah, this should serve me well. Mac Tools, extended anvil, 1/2-inch. But yeah, that's that. Give me a second here. Let's see if I can mess with this thing here off camera. Okay, so here we go. So here's that adapter. So it makes your 3/8 air hose 1/2 inch compatible. And you can see it's a big 1/2 inch air nipple on there. So yeah, probably just need to grease this little collar a little bit more, or maybe I need to visit the gym a little bit more. So yeah, again, he showed it working. It sounded like a beast. It obviously got some owner's mark on there that they try to scuff off, paint over. That's fine. All right, let's look at these 3 pieces. So there's only one video on YouTube that I've seen just highlight these, and it didn't account for 2 of these. So what are these? Do you know? So basically these are airlifts for heavy duty trucks or ag equipment or whatever you like. Well, there's something making noise outside. Anyway. Some random truck out there. Anyway, so these are made by Emerson. It's a company in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see if I can here we go. Emerson, Nebraska, maybe. But these are hydraulic lifts. These are 220s. These bigger ones are 220s, which are super heavy, by the way. And these are 110. And one of these units can lift, just the individual unit is meant to lift 24,000 pounds with a maximum air pressure of 200 psi. So it depends on your psi, the weight limit goes down. But if you have a maximum of 200 psi that you can dedicate to it, good CFM, then you can get basically 48,000 pounds lifted with these 2. And then these, I want to say, are 12,000 pounds each, so a total of 24,000 pounds that you can lift with these. I initially picked up these because I was like, let me just get the bigger capacity. And then he said he was selling these, and some guy made an offer, and he wanted to give me a second chance. And I was like, well, I appreciate the consideration. Just leave them. I'll take them. So I got the box truck now, and so we'll see if these are compatible with servicing it for anything, any reason. So how these would work, I don't have it hooked up. Obviously you got the air hoses, and there's a video on YouTube that you can look up on these, but you basically hook your air hoses into both of these ends, and then you have these little paddle levers, and this is what you use to regulate the air on either side, and then you'd like disconnect it to air it down. So yeah, pretty old school. And I got one for each, and then these are just like sections that you can remove. Again, I'll do another video on these. Like I said, these are quite heavy. You got like pins that you'd like pin in different positions. There's like, if you pull this out, there's like holes and stuff, and you'd pin it. So yeah, there is that. And like I said, I mean, they're pretty heavy. Luckily they come with this handle that you can remove. You just gotta, that's just a pin right there, and you can remove the handles so they're not getting in the way for storage. And basically it's just air. There's no hydraulics, it's just air operated. There's a ladder inside and it just pushes up. But yeah, like I said, there's a video on YouTube you can watch. So again, Emerson 220, Emerson 110s. Super for heavy duty stuff, not for kids at home. All right. So we gotta start on this right here. Never mind the mess. There's a rhyme and reason why some of that stuff is out on the table. Those lights are there. Working on my floor. That card is there. So, but everything on the floor right here is gonna be shown. Getting tired, actually. I think it's just the heat. All right, let's just start down here because as someone who's parked on the side and their vehicle is running. All right, so this I'm not gonna take up because it's bulky, it's heavy, it's super heavy. But move this, what you're looking at right here is a OTC, I don't remember what a part number is, but it's a kingpin press. So kingpin for trucks. And that kingpin is that like solid shaft that connects the steering knuckle to the, I don't know what to call it, but I know it's the kingpin. And so it's a metal piece that you're supposed to grease, but eventually it wallows out and you need to replace it. It gets sloppy. You can feel the slop in the tires, or shaking it back and forth if you have it raised and use a pry bar. And so I wanted to get into heavy duty stuff, and so I bought this. This one is in pretty good shape, but there's a story. Do you have time for the story? Well, the story goes, there's the first one that I bought, like right there. So I bought it, and it was around, I think they were asking like $1,500, and we eventually came to that. It was around $1,100 or something is what I finally paid, or something along that line. And so guy ships it, appreciate the purchase, appreciate accepting the offer, ships it. I mean, it kind of looks rough. Yeah, it's been used, it's probably been left outside, but that thing is heavy. It's heavy. And because it's heavy and it wasn't packed properly as far as the packaging, it got lost. And by lost, I mean it probably got tore open, which the box came tore open. And in fact, those little pieces right there, 1, 2, those are the only 2 adapters that came. It's missing 7 adapter pieces. And so after being lost for about 3 weeks, I contacted the seller and I was like, hey, well, if it doesn't show up in the next 48 hours, if I could kindly receive a refund. And he was like, I understand. I think it was FedEx. Yeah, FedEx is looking for it. They have a case open, all this stuff. Communication was spot on as far as like realizing what was going on. And so about 36 hours, or less than 24 to 36 hours, he reaches out and like, hey, FedEx said, hey, we've lost it. They're gonna issue him some kind of refund or something. He says, so he refunds me promptly, like within minutes I had my money back. And what was unique about that, as soon as I purchased that one, this came online. I saw this and I was like, wow, it'd have been nice to get something that looks newer, right? Why not? Why not get something that is less used and abused, or not abused, but just something that's newer? Well, as luck would have it, he refunds me this, and I was able to purchase this for actually almost $200 less, right? So this newer one for $200 less. And so maybe a week and a half later, he messages me and says, the tracking is alive, it's moving. because this was stuck for like, it got lost like 4 hours away from me. He said the tracking number was moving, and so it showed up. I told him I wasn't home. I might not get to it for the next 2 weeks. And his words, I know some people are not going to believe this, for paying over $1,000 for this item. He was like, dude, I don't want it back. It's fine. You can keep it. You can donate it. You can sell it. And I told him I might be getting into heavy duty stuff, and he was like, good for you. And then he gave me some advice as far as like, you know, running a heavy duty business. So effectively that was free. The only downside, I'm missing 7 adapter pieces. I've never pressed a kingpin, or I'm not sure what else this is used for apart from kingpins, but I'm missing 7 adapter pieces. So now I'm on the hunt for 7 additional pieces. And I actually need to take a picture before it goes off eBay to find the pieces for this, just so I can have a reference. So I'll probably do that after this video, because once I lose it, then yeah. So this actually came, so yeah, it was a package. It was just a cardboard box. It had a couple stuff in there, but it was loose in this huge box. And as you can imagine, this thing, I want to say it was like 115 pounds. It moving around, getting, you know, unloaded, offloaded, conveyor belt, all this stuff. It tore open, and hence why the smallest pieces, actually the smallest adapters, like went missing. So all 5 of them. And this one came packaged so well. Pretty impressed. Like, I need to leave a review on this one, because this package there's so many staples, and I'm not talking industrial staples, like almost like regular type staples. Like, I was fearful that I was gonna get stabbed. But this was packaged well. It came disassembled, unlike that one that was assembled. And I'm not, if this viewer is viewing this, I'm not knocking you at all. Like, thoroughly, just even the whole refund process and understanding completely made this purchase worthwhile. It's just unfortunate that the pieces were lost. And he said I could keep it. I know some naysayer is gonna be like, sure. Well, believe what you believe. This came packaged well. Here are some of the adapter pieces. So like that one, I got this, and I got this. So these are the only 2 pieces from that first package that came. And one of these O-rings broke. But then all these smaller pieces got lost. They fell out of the box in that previous shipment that was delayed. Obviously these pins are nothing. I mean, they're gonna fall out of the box. And I don't know how shipping companies deal with like small bits and pieces that they find, but chances are they're probably just gonna get tossed in the bin or tossed out, because they don't have an owner. They're not associated with a specific package. But yeah, so at least I have a full set. I want to say this set is based on the fittings that I saw in this image. There's only one fitting that I don't see in here. So effectively I have 1 3/4 kingpin press. So I mentioned how much I paid for this. This is a bulky hydraulic piece, a press. OTC makes a newer one. It's running on eBay. It's running for like $3,000+ for a kingpin press. Granted, it's gonna be lighter, because this, again, is 115 pounds. Like, these boxes were super heavy, like super heavy. So this, again, was packaged well. You can see this thing was zip tied on here. I mean, look at these rods and nuts, like super heavy. Like, if I can give you a context here, and I know this videos keep going on, but the hydraulic pump, this one is in pretty good shape. I guess they're both in pretty good shape. I just want to show you this one piece right here for context. Like, if you like steak and you got a steak this beefy, you're eating well in the neighborhood. So yeah, appreciate the purchase. You know, like I mentioned in the first toolbox video, I used to watch heavy duty stuff, and I guess these are not going to be your individual technician, mechanic, personal items for a heavy duty shop. These are shop equipment, but this is what heavy duty looks like. And so I gotta get this on here. There we go. I don't want to lose it. And this just threads on. Yep, threads on here. So after this video, I'm gonna run it through and see if the thing actually extends and compresses or all that stuff. But that's the story behind it. Basically purchased one, got one for free because of some kind soul out there. It's just unfortunate that the stuff got lost. It would be awesome if somehow they showed up to my doorstep in a little box. I think I could reach out to this. I might do that. I might go back to the tracking number, go back to where it was lost, see if I can reach out to FedEx and like send them a picture of those lost items and ask them if they have them in some kind of lost and found bin. And obviously if I have a picture, I can prove it, that's me, and then, you know, I could get that. So that's what I'll do. I'll snap the pictures after this and I'll send an email to FedEx customer service. If any of you guys work for FedEx and you have ideas of how to retrieve lost pieces from a package, let me know, or if they're just tossed out. But it would be pretty cool to get those adapter pieces. It hasn't been that long, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Anyway, this video is getting long, but this is my venture into heavy duty world. I know you guys are sticking around for the video because you see a lot of cool stuff. This chair is breaking apart. Why does she still have this chair hanging around the house? All right, still under 30 minutes, so we'll go with the next logical item here. And that's this here. So this is I want to say it's a CTA. Let's just get this light. Man, it takes a lot of walking around to get my motion lights to come on. So this is a CTA, what do you call it? Spare tire lowering kit. So these are all the different pieces, and you can see from the display here. You got the yellow for Japanese imports, and then the green for Chevy trucks 06 and up. And then obviously they're color coded on the ends. So it's a 10-piece. Obviously this is just a hanging rack for them, so you can set them on a wall or something. And then this is the handle to reach in. Obviously, usually customers, people in general, lose their spare tire lowering kit, and this is just one of those things. I have mine, so why do I need this? I don't know. God has a purpose. All right, so we can probably get two more tools in here. Let me know if I skip over anything as I go by, because I am likely to do that. So this right here is a OTC load, or well, it's called a digital. See, man, the glare on this thing is mean. I can't find it. Where digital? Anyway, it's a 130 amp digital battery load tester. This thing gets hot. I have the analog one, like you hold it for about 10 seconds. Yeah, it says 10 seconds max. And you get the load on it. It's an OTC. This was about 40 bucks. Like I said, I got the analog one, but I figured a digital one would come in handy. And it has instructions on the back right there. But this was about 40 bucks. I mean, I see them going for as high as 90 bucks. Pardon the camera work here. I was gonna say this right here was just under 100 bucks. All right, we are at 30 minutes, and we got probably two more videos in this series. I know I talked a lot, but trying to do justice of these tools and give credit where credit is due, in case, you know, these videos are being watched by somebody who sold me these things. All that I'll ask is that you keep my information private, if you're that person. And if you do, then if you don't, then I'll probably have to delete it, just because I like my personal privacy. But I think everyone could respect that. Yep. Anyway, part 2 is in the record book. Part 1 is already being uploaded. Might already have been uploaded. Part 2 is on its way. As I always say, like on a hate thing.